So, sir, there was this massive dent on the print media industry due to the pandemic because there was this fear that people might catch COVID. So, sir, when you are leading such a big organization, what are the three most important skills or a couple of important skills to deal with such crisis?
I think first is empathy, and I think one of your first podcast captures that quite well about what does Micah teach, how is it different, what's all about. I could repeat everything that was there. I think empathy was spoken about, uh, teamwork was spoken about, emotional intelligence was spoken about. But I would say the first thing required is empathy. Uh, and in moments such as this, which we are not seen, we don't have a collective memory of it. We don't have ability to solve for it based on past experience. Uh, Prioritization becomes very important. That's not the time to do 20, 30 things. It's the time to do three things or four things very smartly.
Yeah.
Prioritization becomes extremely important. And to communicate that priority transparently, uh, clearly, and with great integrity across the organization becomes very important.
So as we are talking about the model and we set the pandemic aside as well,
Yeah.
and about the shift for from print to the web pages. So do you? And there's a lot of debate going around whether the print will survive or not. So what is your take on this? Because we have heard debates from both the sides that it will not, and then we've again been hearing that yes, print is there to survive, and now it's increasing.
See, one needs to look at this rather dispassionately. So currently, the voices one hears uh, on these subjects is more from uh, what is good for me and what I believe in. But if you look at it dispassionately, print is under tremendous strain in many parts of the world. And I worked in other markets, and it is under severe strain. But India is one of those few markets where print is very robust. Uh, in fact, time spent on printed products has grown during the pandemic. Circulation outside of fear of COVID hasn't really dipped. So print continues to be relevant, but is it going to grow at the pace at which it grew in the past? Clearly, no.
Yeah.
In my mind, print will struggle to find newer and younger readers who will buy the printed product on a regular basis and read it. Uh, but there's a sizable audience that is used to consuming print, and this audience uh, finds print more than anything else a well curated product. Now the issue with online news consumption is there's just so much. You're sort of confused about what to consume. Print is a
Right.
well curated product, so there is a lot of trust that readers have in what an editor puts together as a stitched end product. That will continue. My belief is India has a longer runway than many of the countries as far as print is concerned. Uh, I still think, despite the issues print is an underleveraged medium, and we have seen that during COVID. It was underleveraged in terms of efficiencies. Uh, it was underleveraged in terms of how we solve for client problems. It was also underleveraged in terms of how do we serve the communities who consume us far better, and not just us. Everybody's done a stellar job of that during COVID. So print has a runway, but it will struggle to find newer, younger readers. I'm not even sure how many of you on campus go to the library to read the newspaper anymore. So that's a challenge, and that needs to be recognized. But there's a strong franchise for print in this country, and it has a runway. So I wouldn't say it's under existential threat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's still healthy, it's robust. There are ways to leverage it far better than we have done. Uh, but ability to add newer, younger readers and and grow at the pace we have been used to uh, is certainly a challenge, and I don't think there's running away from that.
Right. So we were just going through your profile on LinkedIn, and we saw that you've written a letter to your younger self.
Yeah.
So there you pressed upon a very important point that most professionals ponder upon, at least once in their lifetime. That is taking a break or sabbatical to return rejuvenated and recharged with more purpose.
Yeah.
So, can you tell us more about it? What was your thought process and what motivated you to do the same?
it's it's difficult question to answer because it works differently for everybody. But I believe in taking breaks. Uh, I believe breaks are good. Uh, Sabbaticals are extremely good. Uh, and I assume it was difficult at one point in time to do those because they were always seen as gaps in your resume. Uh, but today our ecosystem is mature enough. People do respect the need for people to take a sabbatical so long as it's backed by reasoning. And I don't believe in taking a break because you're overworked. Because overworked is a problem. It's attitudinal. Uh, if you're overworked and you're not able to manage your work-life balance and you feel drained out, a sabbatical is very temporary because you will fall into those old habits in a new job and feel tired again. So it's got nothing to do with getting overworked, not having enough time, because one needs to solve for those problems in whatever job one has. And my belief is if one approaches it smartly, it is doable, irrespective of what stage of one's career one is at. I think a break is good, not because you're overworked, but sometimes you need to step back and think about larger issues of what you need to do, what you need to pursue, uh, think about it, travel a bit, talk to people, enjoy life, and get a different perspective.